y'all.
Yeah, you know.
Okay,
This internet.
we're ready to roll and rock.
Whoa.
I just want people to know.
What happened, Cindy?
Y'all remember the Whisper song? Because I just want y'all to
She
know the
sound
people
like
that
a
are out
yang
there.
yang.
Yeah, yeah. Let
Oh,
me
do not.
yeah.
Dr.
So
Shonda,
Dr.
are you
Shonda lost her voice, everybody.
But
do you
but
have
you can still hear me though, right?
do you have
Yes.
an ENT
Yeah.
on deck, a specialist? We
I
need to take a
do.
look at that throat.
Girl,
Name
can
Mr.
Gigi bring you
Robert.
some Ricolas?
Gigi,
Bring me some Ricola.
bring me that tea with some lemon.
But wait, I do, and his name is Mr. Roberts.
You have tea in front of you. Let me see. Let me see.
No, I'm saying she said, "Do I have an ENT?" I said, "I
Oh,
do." His name is Mr.
okay.
Roberts,
Okay.
and my teacup says, "Oh, I better not waste it on Gigi laptop." My teacup says, "Hello, beautiful."
Yes. How you
Yes.
doing? How you
So hey, how
doing?
y'all doing tonight? Good evening, everyone. This is gonna be. We're not gonna do this tonight. We're not gonna do this. So while y'all laughing at me, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Talk Miami. It is Monday night, 8 p.m. Let's get this thing started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Wait, I'm gonna pass it to you, Sin. Sin, wait, give it to me, G.
wait, while we all dancing, I want to go like this at the end, baby. That beat is it right there. Good evening, everyone.
Woo at the
Woo.
end. You better hit it hard at the end. Stick the landing.
Welcome. Can
Look at
y'all
Diva.
let me go,
I don't
please? I ain't
dance.
got but a little bit of voice left.
She
Diva
yelling.
B.
Let me use
I
it.
don't dance. He just yes, Diva B. Diva B, you better come correct with them glasses today.
Girl, let me tell you, if I dance, the hat gonna fall off. I'm holding it by a thread, girl. No.
For all listeners of the podcast, Diva B has a blue hat on, honey. He's perched.
And
Yes,
the
baby.
shades.
Yes, honey. The
Praise
hats,
God.
the
So
hats are gonna change every week,
welcome to
so be
Talk
prepared.
Miami. Good evening. I am Dr. Shonda Roberts, and over here to my this side is whoever. Go ahead.
I took the wave. I took the wave.
You messed me up.
Good evening, everyone. Wait, I'm gonna do the doctor. Good evening, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry, Dr. Roberts. I'm sorry, Dr. Roberts. Hi, everybody. Good evening. TK Owens in the house, and I'm gonna pass it down to the one in the blue hat.
Hello, everyone. It is Diva B, baby. Another Monday to
Yay.
get Letty Let. We have a special guest too, by the way. This is my boyfriend. Say hi to everybody. He's behind me. He got my back. So, and I'm gonna pass it
What's
that
your
way.
boyfriend's name? What's your boyfriend's name?
Boyfriend.
Oh,
That's not the Shamar Moore in the background.
It is, but don't say it.
he
Because then
want to tell his
everybody gonna say that's
business.
his boyfriend too. That's not their boyfriend, that's my boyfriend.
Our
But does
listeners
he?
need
But
to
does
know.
he know? Does he know you're his boyfriend? Like,
He'll
does
know
he
later when I get to his house.
Ooh.
And they call that good police. They
That's
call those
right.
good
So
police.
to this way.
Oh, she ain't pull it.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
oh.
What?
It's your girl, Cindy Winters here, coming to you live in full effect. Let's talk Miami.
Yes.
Oh. Welcome. This is our awesome co-host. I love y'all, even though they've been talking about me on the other side. We're gonna get through this tonight. So y'all excuse my voice. Let me know if you can't hear me. I'm gonna try to give you my best tenor, sultry voice tonight. Okay.
Do we want to talk about how you lost your voice?
Thank you.
Why
Like,
don't you
give the
just address
people a
it?
reason why. Let's just
This is
address
about
it.
communication.
We say we're gonna keep it real on this show. So let them know what you did this weekend, Shonda.
So this
Let's go.
weekend, I have been worshiping and praising the Lord, and I was in a worship. I was in a worship. It was a prophetic worship night, and it lasted very long. So I sang for probably like 3 hours and a half, and then the next morning I went to my own church where I serve, and had to get up at be there at 6:30 a.m. to serve all the way until 2 o'clock. So I had 3 services on Sunday and what felt like 3 services on Saturday. So my voice is a little tired of me. And I have rehearsal on Wednesday. So I'm hoping it comes back by Wednesday.
God gonna help you out.
I know he is. He is a
He's
sustainer.
gonna touch and agree. He's gonna lay hands on you.
Okay. Okay. I know he will. So that's how I lost my voice, for doing the work of the Lord. But he will restore me. So I know he will.
Amen.
So tonight, even though y'all want to play in Job, it's time to get a little bit serious.
Yes,
We're
ma'am.
going to talk about serious topics, a serious topic, which is our mental health. We all have a little bit of mental issues, whether big or small. It's something that people don't like to talk about. So I felt it very important. Our team felt it very important to have this discussion during Mental Health Awareness Month, which is in May. So in order to have our discussion, I wanted to bring in some very good friends of mine, but also some people who do this for real. I want to welcome Dr. Venus Miller first. Let me get her in here. Hey, Dr. Miller.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, gorgeous one?
Good. How y'all beautiful people doing?
Hello,
Thank you.
hello. Thank you for
Great.
being on the show,
Welcome.
Dr. Miller.
Thank you for joining us. And then my friend, none other than Mr. Damon Thomas, who is CEO and founder of Men. Hey, Damon.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
Good. I love these two, y'all. We go way back. Damon is awesome. I met Damon recently, about over a year ago.
Yes.
About over a year ago, I think on social media. We somehow do the same work, but he deals mostly with men on the nonprofit world. And Dr. Miller has been, it's been a minute, Dr. Miller. We've been kind of meeting in different
Long time.
arenas. With domestic violence. I have a nonprofit organization, and she is domestic violence child survivor. So we usually are on the same panels all the time, and then she's always speaking at events that I have free. And these two don't never charge me $1, so I am always indebted to them. TK neither. I always get my friends to do stuff for me for free.
Yeah.
So
We love you. It's gonna be a payback though one day.
I know it is. So, Dr. Miller, won't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell these great people what you do and about them 100 acronyms you have behind your name?
Oh my goodness.
And I want you to name them all tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Venus Miller, and above all, I'm a servant. I'm a servant, and all the titles that I have come from God. That might sound a little weird, but ain't nobody can do all that school but God for you. You be in constant prayer. So I know it as that person. I started my career in 1990, where I got my nursing degree from Barry University. That was 30 years ago. I went on to get my first master's from the University of Miami. That was a few years later. I got my family nurse practitioner from them. Went on a few more years, and a few more years after that, I got my psychiatric nurse practitioner certification. That is from University of Alabama. And then I went on.
You got so many. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I went on to FIU to get my my doctorate a few years ago. My passion has always been dealing with the underprivileged, or those individuals who people feel like they can't make it, because I was one of them. Sadly, my mother would die at the hands of domestic violence when I was 5 years old at the hands of my father, and that will take my life into a mental spin. The thing about me is that I always wanted to be smart. I wanted to be a smart girl, and that was my fighting force. But sadly, as a mini coach, the more coats I wear, the more mentally disturbed I became, to the point that I became homicidal, suicidal, and wanted to kill myself and my kids every day for many years as I took care of you. So I tell people, don't be fooled by the mask that people have, because you don't know what's going on in their mind. Being smart is not enough to combat mental illness. And so because of that, I went into psychiatry to figure out what was wrong with my family, because they're crazy. And I didn't think that I was crazy. But because of that, the generational things happening at one point in time because of God and because of I didn't want myself to be harmed anymore, and I was going in a circle. And to break the generational curse, first I studied it, I did get delivered from it. So now I speak about being that child who was impacted by one thing that infected not only my life and the other lives around me, which is why I do what I do today. So I have lived it, I have breathed it, I've overcome it, and now I'm healed from it just to give back to our community. Let them know, no matter what you go through, if you get it here, if you get that checkup from the neck up, everything else will be all right. So that's who I am in itself.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for every time I hear a story or hear what you've been through, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm always amazed at how far you've come. So thank you for surviving and thank you for helping and teaching. All right, Damon, come on with it.
Good evening. Good evening. I am Damon Thomas. I am the creator and founder of The Minute Cover Show. We are based out of Atlanta, but we are global. I am a ghostwriter, director, producer, and I am a sexual abuse survivor and a domestic violence survivor. What drove me to do the Minute Coverage program all these years is my past experience. It catapulted me to want to reach out and help young boys and men as well. Although it's a Minute Coverage show, I do help young girls and women that have gone through trauma, abuse, substance abuse, depression. So we cover it all. That's my passion. It will always be my passion because of my life experiences. And I just want to continue helping young boys and men and women across the globe.
Thank you so much. And the work that you do is, I'm sure, it's impacting everyone because our men need to know that we need them to be okay. We need our men, our fathers to be, our sons to be okay because they cover us and they protect us. So if they're not okay, we're not okay. So thank you, Mr. Damon, for the work that you do as well. So let's get on into it because I'm sure people are going to have questions tonight. So let me just ask this very simple question. What is a two-part question? I'm going to ask Dr. Miller, and then Mr. Damon, you can go ahead and, I don't want to call you Mr. Damon, but I just felt like
right. Stop the formal stuff.
I don't know why I'm calling you that. I'm sorry. Okay, Venus. Because we be on the bubble, hey girl, hey, you know. But I have to give you, I want to represent you all as I see you. That's why I do that. But what is mental health and why are we afraid of it?
Wow, what is mental health? Mental health is us, meaning mental health is a person's thought. And at a very young age, that's a very good question because people get behavioral health mixed with mental health, mixed with mental disparity, mixed with someone who has a actual diagnosis. Now, mental health comes into play in many different areas. When you see an individual, there are different ways that people get to that mental health state. So I'll use myself, for example. Mental health impacted me traumatically. So because I had a traumatic event, it impacted me mentally by what I seen, what I heard, okay? Someone else can have a mental impact by someone hitting them in the head. Someone else can have a mental impact because when they're born, the mother sometimes squeezes their legs and then messes around with their brain. Somebody can have a mental impact by injury, meaning you called me stupid. I know people don't think that, but the word stupid impacts a part of my brain. And if someone else not combating that, then that can cause another mental health disorder. Another mental health impact comes from someone harming someone. That's abuse, rape, all those things. When those things happen, people think that someone's under the bridge because they wanted to be an addict. But a lot of times people are addicts because they're trying to stop the memory in their head. So they use the drug, which then we have another problem. So first, when we talk about mental health, we have to talk about the total well-being and how you got there. So that's why it's important when you say mental health, what do you mean? And what are you talking about? Mental health is different for everybody. What impacts TK? They can call TK stupid. You're like, I ain't stupid, you stupid. But if you call a 5-year-old stupid, continue to call them stupid, they can never be a TK. They can never be a Miss Winters. They'll never be a diva. They'll never be a Shonda or Dana. You know,
Right.
It's mental, and mental health means how someone is impacted mentally, and then what I do with that. So the way you respond to a word mentally is different from everyone. So mental has to be looked at as a complex and a compacted word. So when someone say, "Oh, that person over there is crazy," you don't know what they're crazy about, and how they got there, unless you do a Damien or myself and really sit down with them and tell me what is the core issue. So mental is multifactorial.
Wow. Wow. David, I guess I'll ask you, why do you feel that people are afraid of saying they need help or acknowledging or realizing that something's going on? I need to go speak to someone.
Okay. From my experience, doing the show all these years, there are several components. And I'm going to speak from a male point of view because I
Please.
deal
Yes.
with male. But is the first thing is the ego. We as young boys, we were taught, suck it up. There's nothing wrong. Stop crying. Don't be a sissy. So it's the first thing is the ego, and the second thing is the fear. Is the fear of the backlash of
Correct.
people looking at you in a different way. Okay. The third component that I've seen mostly is the financial piece. And that's why I do the Men of Courage, because I want this to be a program where it's affordable to all young boys and men across the globe. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, that we recently start bringing on females, but that's the first thing come to my mind of reason why people don't want to talk about this mental health. It's the ego, the fear, and the financial piece, and the backlash.
Sean, I wanted to add something. One of the things I do is something called Time to Talk for Real. And I'm going to sidebar to the women. You always meet other women. You want to say, why don't you keep it 100? Why we can't be real? When was the first time you would talk to me phony? When you were young. And they say, wipe your face. Girls ought to be what? Seen and not heard. So therefore, if somebody's hurting me, I'm not to be heard. I just want to look good. So we start lying to our little girls young and our young men very early. So the boys are supposed to suck it up and you're supposed to shut up. But by the time you get up in my
And no one's talking. Yep.
come on. So ain't nobody talking. So Damien and I are married. We're not married. Don't do that. Damien and I are married. And so Damien comes in. He comes in as a man hurting and trying to tell his wife something. And I'm so busy looking pretty that I won't tell him what's going on. And we're communicating without communicating, but we look good. Because what happens in the house stays in
Come on
the
now.
house.
Dr. Miller, I ain't tell you come on this show and start stuff.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I ain't tell you come on here and start stuff now, because you about to maybe have to shake up the room.
Yeah. So
Yes, ma'am.
Damien and I have had that conversation.
Yes.
Why can't I even tell my husband I need help?
That's
I
right.
can't say to my husband, if Damien is my husband, I'm just using it as an example. If
Right.
Damien is my husband, I can't say I need help because I'm a woman and I'm supposed to be what? I'm supposed to be submissive. I'm supposed to be but something. And I can't, what am I submitting to? I'm submitting to what you told me earlier, that I'm supposed to be seen and not heard.
Ooh.
Right? And so we need to start telling our children from the beginning, I want you to be pretty and I want you to be heard. This is how you communicate. Son, I know you crying and I know it hurt, but you still a man, but cry that thing out. So by the time you get to the woman, you know how to talk about it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Team, if you all want to ask questions, go ahead. I have a bunch, but I want you all to go ahead and ask questions too.
I do want to ask both of you guys a question, and Dr. Miller, if you can go first, and then Damon. Let's speak to the ones, we're calling them out, right? There are some people who feel as though they don't need help, or maybe they can't afford therapy or counseling. For those people who may not think they need it, I won't even say that. You know that you need it, but you refuse to go. How about that? You refuse to go because you say that's for crazy people. Nothing's wrong with me. But they still know something is wrong. For someone who can't afford it, for someone who won't go, what are some other top tips or things that we can do to work on our mental health? Maybe in the house. Like I'll keep it honest with you guys. Last year was one of the hardest years for me. Being stuck in this house with the pandemic, it was a lot of change, and I was laid off from my job. But I adapted yoga, meditation, and then I go by the ocean to reflect. So if there are some people who maybe can't afford counseling or therapy, what are some tips or things of how we could still work on our mental health?
I'm gonna bring my glasses up for you so you can understand me on this one.
Okay.
I can't do anything about your mental health if you don't want to do it.
Amen.
It's not an answer. I will
Amen.
tell you this though. The first checkup I had to have was with me, and that is the hardest checkup. I remember, if you allow me to say, going to God, and Shonda did something to me, and TK did this, and Miss Winters did this, and Diva got nerve. And I will tell God, I'm telling you right now, about everybody. And God said, I'm going to stop you. Because if you can't tell me about you, I can't do nothing about nobody else. That's the first problem we have, thinking that our problem that we have, that we can solve somebody else's stuff. You can't solve nobody else's stuff. Because even if Damon said something harsh to me, it's my mental ability when he said something to me to have that. So the first step is, the only thing that you can do about everybody else is you.
Amen.
And I'm simply saying that because I didn't say what that, and I've said this to Damien and Shonda before. I'm not telling you, TK, what they said was right. I didn't say the pandemic was right. I didn't say that Beaver said the best thing to me. And I didn't say Winters wasn't mean to me. But it's the way I mentally handle what you're saying to me. I have the ability to accept it or reject it. And it took me 40 years to stop rejecting what I shouldn't be accepting.
Wow.
And so I have to take charge of my own life, which is the hardest thing, because I'm easy at blaming. I got a degree in blaming you from 5 years old, I can tell you.
Wow.
We get comfortable in our uncomfortability. Yes, I know you raping me, but I know it's every Wednesday and every Thursday I'm gonna get a gift. I know you cheating on me, but at least I get an outfit. I know. And we
Come on now.
Trick ourselves until you learn who you are. Who you are and whose you are will dismantle everybody. I have the ability to tell you no. But for a season, I couldn't say no. I would say yes, knowing it was a no, because I had a little bit. It's all about knowing who you are. Yeah, you say you went by the ocean. I can't get out the house though. Yeah, you said you went over here, but I can't pick myself out this room. So the first step, if there was any answer, I would say it starts with you, us, me, and me. What is it about me that every time TK say something to me, I crumble? Yeah. What is it about it that I go into depression? It really is a self-check, and I'm telling you, it's the hardest. That's why the pandemic took out so many people, because what would have made you stay in the house, CK, if it wasn't a pandemic? I got to go over here.
Right.
And now I'm stuck in the house with this man.
Yeah.
But I don't like these children who I try to keep from. And this man, I love you, but I only love you from 8 p.m. to 1 in the morning. After that, I got to go. Now we're forced to really start looking at, we do have a problem. We do have a concern. So the pandemic, as tough as it was, actually began to restructure that we really need to get back to the core of the issue, which is us, and dealing with the issue. Because if you don't, it will destroy you. So the answer is, I need you to deal with you before you even come into my office.
Amen.
The ability for me to even say anything to you. So that is the hardest and the biggest step, and that took me 40 years, sis.
Wow. Thank you. I really appreciate these jewels. Thank you.
Every time I talk to Dr. Miller, she put me in my place. I could be calling her, asking her what time it is, and she gonna make me get off the phone crying by the time we done. Cause she always, what's wrong with you today? I'm like, nothing, girl, don't start. You know, she get right in. So I appreciate her giving us so much information. But I wanted to respond to something you said earlier. I'm not sure which one of y'all said it, but I think it was Dr. Miller, being able to tell your spouse, your friend, that you have a problem, that something is wrong. You have to surround yourself with people who are going to support you and whatever you feel is going on with you. There are things that I have dealt with in my life that I did not share with anyone until I'll be 45 in a couple of weeks, I think maybe a couple of years ago, when I first told my husband I was molested at 4. Wow. And I told him, he was the first one I told after all those years, but I felt safe to tell him that. I felt safe. That is my safe place. Yes. And I could have told him a long time ago, but I felt like I was over that. I don't know what triggered me to make me say it, but we always talked, and I always told him about the abuse that I was in, and I shared everything with him regarding the abuse. But that part, that was my little secret. I kept that right there. I didn't tell anybody that. And when I released that, I felt so much better because I was holding on to that one little piece of information. But he made me feel safe enough that I could share that with him. So I just want to tell the audience, find someone that you can share what's wrong. I don't care what it is. I had a friend who used to lock herself in the room all the time. And I would have to go over there and knock her door down, get her out, try to make her, get back on her meds and do what you need to do, because people will go into depression and they will close themselves out from everybody, cuss you out and everything.
Yep.
You have to be that supportive friend. And I know a lot of us are going through stuff, and sometimes we have our own problems and you feel like, man, I ain't got time to do nobody else's problem today. But that's how we help each other through, by going through. Because sometimes TK may be going through something and I'm not, and vice versa. So we have to make sure that we are that supportive friend for someone, because you never know when somebody needs you. So let's take a quick woosah. We're going to take a deep breath and let it out, because this is deep. We're about to go deeper. But right now,
Girl, it's so deep I can hardly hear you speaking, honey.
I told y'all, let's have it.
I was going to ask a question, but then I didn't want to interrupt Shonda because, we can barely hear her. So,
you know what? Don't do that. If you got to say something, say something. Save it for the next part. We're going to talk some more. So right now we are going to get a little bit of dirt, get some little light up here real quick with Diva B. This is the dirt.
all right, honey, do the hair flip for the dirt. So, welcome. It's Diva B. This is the dirt. I'll make it quick because we got a lot to keep going with. But I just wanted to share a little bit of news. I'm pretty sure you heard about this weekend. But we have to say congratulations to Mr. Nick Cannon, because he is now expecting his 7th child from 4 different baby mamas. So it was so much to go through. I had to make a little PowerPoint presentation because he just can't seem to wrap it up. Actually, he was on a podcast not too long ago, and he was actually telling, I think it was either the Breakfast Club or it was some other podcast, but he was telling that he is not a one-woman kind of man. And the track record speaks for itself. Okay, so the new girl that just announced on the 20th, which was Friday, that she is pregnant with a baby, is Alyssa Scott. Alyssa Scott is his co-host / colleague at Wildin' Out on MTV. DJ Abby De La Rosa, she is expecting twins very soon. She announced that on April. So he's going to have about, I think it's 3 kids in the next go round of children. So he better keep making them coins, because with all them kids, honey, he gonna need some coins. So I don't want to talk too long about that, because to me, mental health is a little bit more important than what Nick Cannon got going on.
That's mental health, sir.
I actually wanted to ask you a question about the children with mental health, because I kept bringing up the topic with somebody close to me, and I kept saying, well, it's Nick Cannon. He's worth $28 million, so having kids, whatever. And this particular person said, it's not about the money. It's about, will he be able to spend quality time with each one of those children? And if he doesn't, what are their mental healths going to be when daddy doesn't come to the football game, or daddy doesn't come to the ballet dance, or something of that nature? So I thought it was actually good that we were talking about mental health this evening, because it is a mental health. Because for someone to say, I can never be with just one woman, there's something just, it's just not clicking.
Some underlying issues.
Underlying issues, yeah.
Definitely. And I wanted to go back to Shonda and go back to him. I would love to do a segment just on him alone, because I would dig deep into, and I know Mr. Damien would probably be much better than me at it, that male part of him, because in a male there is it's the protection, it's the love, it's connection, because some people think penis, condom, vagina is a connection. That's not a connection. That's a fact. I mean,
Come on now.
You had it in your sleep.
That's right.
It's when they meet one another that you care for it. It is actually abuse to have that many children you can't care for mentally, because I don't care how much money. I have people in my office that they said, Dr. Miller, if you can take the money, I'll pay for my daddy to be here. I'll pay for him to come to my game. I'll pay for him. It's not your money. It is your time. There are people who don't have money, but that love factor. Money is a factor. Yes, I do know that. But that's not enough for you to be popping around here having babies from different women. And then think about the child. That child wants to see their father. They want to be, they don't even want to share mothers. And you put them in a place of dysfunction and then expect them to be functional?
That's right.
That's why
Nobody-
a lot of celebrity children get in trouble because they give them the money. But a lot of children don't even want the celebrity status. It disgusts them because
Yeah.
I know my dad was not here while he had 13 children. You know, so money is not enough for you. I told you earlier, money you can't pay for mental health.
That's
It is
right.
something that have to be taught. And I was going to tell from Dr. Shonda, I was going to say, when was the last time you felt safe? Sadly for Shonda, it wasn't again till she had her husband somewhere in there. Even when that baby, I call her my baby, when she was abused, who let her down? Why was that baby being touched? And me the same. For me, my father wasn't around, and that individual, Damien himself. When you lose that trust, you can still be a child and grow in life and never have trust again. The first time I allowed my husband to touch me in certain areas and do certain positions, and I'll be that graphic with you, is when I got healed. Because before then, I would cry every time I got in position, but don't tell him why you crying. Oh, because it's good. No, that ain't the reason.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't even, and it wasn't that he did anything to me, TK, but I had not allowed deliverance to come. So I've been in my third marriage, and I end them. They used to call me the runaway bride. I end them when I have to release trust. That's how scared I was.
Right.
So this was my husband now is the man that has touched me without touching me.
That's right.
Meaning that he touched every area of my life. So I could tell him, don't touch me here. He said, well, let me tell you something. We're going to do that for a while. But I should be able to touch you everywhere because I'm not that man
That's
or
right.
that woman or that thing. So
That's
let's
right.
figure out what that is because I need to explore all of you like you want to explore all of me. And that's the first time. You have to understand when somebody is broken, I don't care how smart you are, that brokenness goes with them.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Man, like Shonda said, that I can trust with all of me. I'm like, over here, touch me over there, and I touch me twice. He said, now you're carrying on. Now you want me to touch you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But
David, I want
Well, it's really amazing to hear you say that because when I first read the story, I kind of related to him in a sense. Not that I have kids, baby, because I ain't got no kids, ain't gonna have no kids, don't even think about no kids, okay? But where I related with him, and this is a question that I was gonna pose to Damon later on, is when you have been confined like him as a child, because he was a child celebrity star. So
exactly.
he didn't have a normal childhood.
Exactly.
And you grow up alone. You're always jumping from relationships to relationships
Yeah.
because you're missing that one connection.
Yeah.
And that's something even in my own personal life. I've been single for 14 years. It's been a long time, honey. So when you talk about all this touching, I'm like, boo, I need to get dusted off before I get touched. But anyways, I really think, yes, people, put your kids to bed, baby. Put your kids to bed.
Wait a
But,
minute, I'm ready, sir.
I really relate to that because I'm thinking, okay, I've been alone for a long time. So when I actually do have that little bit of companionship,
I got to get a shot.
yeah, it's like after I have that little bit of companionship, I'm good for a while. But then
Right.
the next day I feel the same thing,
Right.
you know, where it's that loneliness again. So I'm looking for the next one. And I related to him in that sense because you were married at one point to one of the most popular women in the entire world. You can't even say her name with nobody knowing. And it wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough.
I want to.
Damon, I would love for you to talk
I was just
about
about to call him.
from a male perspective, even about healing. I feel like they just go from relationship to relationship and never deal with them. Take some time. It's okay to be single. Take some time to work on you. So what advice would you give to the men?
Good question. Good question, TK. For me, my personal experience being married twice, being divorced, first marriage, 15 and a half years. The thing about it is you have to acknowledge that you have an issue. You know, like Dr. Miller said earlier, that's the first thing. You have to own up to it. And that's something I had to do, not in my marriage, but, you know, the sexual molestation at 6 and 9 by two older women. By two older women, 6 and 9, relative and a babysitter. So what I had to do, I had to go through my childhood with that baggage and then going into adolescence and then going into adulthood. But I had to get Damon fixed first before I can even begin to start a relationship. And I love women. I always have 120%. That sexual molestation did not deter me to want to go the other way. But the thing about it is, after I got through the adolescent and start going into adulthood and knowing what I wanted to do, my passion, I had to get out of the mental state I was in, from the sexual molestation, from the domestic violence within my first marriage of 15 and a half years. I had to get out of it. And what helped me, what made me stay in the first marriage of 15 and a half years were my two daughters, two beautiful daughters. They're 25 and 19 now. Wow. But I'll be 53 in October. But
you don't look a day over 35. You better
But I had to do the work. I had to get Damon fixed, and I had to get the education behind me, because I knew this is what I wanted to do long term. I wanted to help young men. I wanted them to get to the next level where I'm at today. Then I had to form an awesome team of doctors, clinicians, therapists. The team that we have today, not just in Atlanta, but global. So I couldn't begin to even start a program like Men of Courage all these years and not fix Damon Thomas. I had to fix me.
That's awesome.
And I tell these men that come through the program, you have to fix you first. And all this sleeping around and going into different relationships, it does nothing for you. It just damages your mental health.
That's all.
That's all it does. And like
it damages the woman. They keep going from relationship to relationship.
Exactly. And what does it fix? It doesn't do anything. You're sleeping around. You having all these kids. You're not wrapping it up. Let's keep it real. What does it do? It's good for the moment. Then at the end of the day, you sitting back the next month. Oh, I done screwed up. What I've done. And then before you know it, STD. You have possibly a child. Then you're going through all the child support angles and issues. And I tell these men that come to the program, we got to talk about it. One thing about Men of Courage, I keep it real. I keep it raw. Let's. If you want to walk this walk with us, I'm gonna get you the help, and I'm gonna make it affordable. Because guess what? We're not gonna come to your house and pick you up. Number one. Number two, I'm gonna provide the services at no cost. Who's doing that around the globe? Nobody. I'm providing services at no cost. Nobody. So what I want from you, I want you to show up at your appointments. I want you to do your Zoom call. I want you to be honest with us. Right. 97% of men that reach out to us, we help.
Wow. Amazing.
Damon, I'm going to ask you another question.
But before you have one more question, I want to finish one last thing on Diva B Dishing the Dirt, because I know we got a little sidetracked. And it's real quick. It's not anything, but I do think that there's a congratulations in store, because the other topic I was going to talk about that I was going to dish on is Miss Simone Biles for becoming the first woman ever to do the Yurchenko double pike, which has never been done by a woman in gymnastics ever. So congratulations, Miss Biles. You are fabulous. And with that, we give her a Diva B hair flip. Now you can ask your question, Shonda.
Thank you so much for recognizing that as well. I wanted to ask a question. That we have some questions from some of our viewers, Dr. Miller and Damon. My voice trying to leave. Me try to get closer to the mic. So how do I know? Y'all on time out. How do I know if I'm unwell? How do I know that there's something going on? How do I know that something's wrong and that I need to ask someone for help? Sometimes we walk around this world, don't realize that we're the problem, that we have an issue. We have blame for everybody else. How do we know that, like you said, Dr. Miller, you can't help me until I help me, until I say I want help. So how do I know that I need help? Damon, you can go and then Dr. Miller.
Well, my thing is this. My biggest thing is it's all about self-reflect. We have to self-reflect. We have to look in the mirror.
Come on now.
You know what? Come on. You may not know every component of what's wrong with you, but you have a gut feeling that something is going on. You know your body. You know your body. You know your mind frame. And if you get that niche that something ain't right. And the first thing is you need to start doing something about it, because guess what? No one's going to come fix it for you. They're not going to do that. So my biggest thing, I tell my men that come to the program, we need to self-reflect. We need to talk about it. We need to be honest about it. And we need to get down to the dirt of it. Because guess what? I challenge these men every day. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what kind of car you're driving. I don't care what kind of house you have. If you have not dealt with these demons, you cannot be a important factor in your community, your significant other, your kid. You can't do none of that, because guess what? It's going to come out eventually. And I tell these men, and it's no shade to anybody, but I have a lot of women that reach out to me about their husbands. Damn it, I didn't know that my husband was struggling with sexual identity. I didn't know that he was sexually molested. Wow. So I tell these men, at the end of the day, we have to find a safe haven to talk about this. And that's why I have the Men Encourage program, because that is a safe haven.
Wow, I appreciate you for that. That safe haven for men is so important. I even tried to do a conversation with the men before, and the men wouldn't come because I know men are afraid of talking about what's going on with them. So I appreciate you for that. And any man that I come in contact with, I send them right on over there.
Sure
I know the lane God gave me, and I stay in it. And I want men to feel comfortable. They may not feel comfortable talking to a female about what's wrong. Right. So I send them right on over Damon Thomas. Go on over there, talk to him. He'll take care of you for free.
Right.
So Dr. Miller, quickly
answer the question that just popped up.
Dr. Miller, I was going to actually ask you one of the questions that popped up.
I like that. I don't like the question, but I'm going to tell you what happened with me. Let me read it. If you feel that you need, listen to this question. If you feel that you need an apology from an ex to move forward, and it's not coming, do you approach and ask for an apology? Speak your piece to them, or do you walk away still hurt? First of all, I don't even know who the person is. That is too much power. Number one, you don't need no apology.
No.
Number two, you don't ask nobody to give you an apology because it's not earned. Number four, why you waiting?
Skip 3,
Doctor. Why is he your ex? Remember that.
Why you still talking to him?
Speak your peace. There is no peace because now that he's your ex, you are giving him the
way too much power.
Peace. Too much power. I almost said the devil is unplug. I'm about to go in the worship. Unplug the source. Now I know you may or may not know, and I held that, Dr. Roberts. That question came so strong to me because for 30 years I didn't move forward because my daddy did not apologize to me. When I asked my daddy why he apologized, he told me I didn't know how to apologize. The other factor that's why it's good to have good counsel. My other brother said, why are you requesting something of somebody they cannot do? Or they don't have the maturity to do. So the first thing I want that young lady or young man to do is first let you know you don't wait for nobody to move forward. Moving forward, first start in your mental. I myself move forward with the fact that I may never get an apology. And if you need one, let me apologize to you. I'm sorry that happened. But what you want for peace cannot come from what you're holding from someone else. So apology from someone else won't even give you peace. All it's going to do is take you back there. What you need is healing. What you need to do is deal with it in your mind. The first thing is that whatever he did, she did. I'm not saying it's right. Please hear me, because people do some foul stuff. And again, I'm not siding with them, but I now know that my father had no other way of communicating but violence. Shonda, I ain't say he was right. Y'all hear me say this all the time.
Right.
So for him, a woman need to shut up, and the only way I can shut her up is knocking her out. My daddy told me, I didn't know I was gonna kill your mother. My mama ain't died. My sister ain't died. Her mama ain't died, which tells me for years the men beat the woman, but my mother lost her life. And so did his brother's wife. He shot her because I guess she answered the phone wrong or something. So I have 2 brothers killing their wives in months' time. Where they get that from? Where they do that at? That is a learned behavior.
There you go. I was going to say that. Yeah. I believe in generational cycles and curses, and it's a learned behavior.
Come on.
They learned it from somewhere.
So when
as adults, even if they don't know how to, we can't go through life blaming that.
That's correct.
We have to decide, okay, it's gonna stop with me.
Come on.
I need to acknowledge that something is wrong, and it stops with me. I don't want it to go from child to child to child. Being a domestic violence victim caused me to be overprotective with my kids. I ain't want them to go anywhere. No sleepovers. No, I'll take you and I'll pick you up. Who you going? Who you with? Where they going? Where their mama work at? What he do? What she do? Where they sleep? Who's sleeping here? Like, it was crazy.
That's your fear. That's wrong. You put your fear on your child,
and it was wrong. And I had to apologize to my kids.
And I had to apologize too. I had to apologize and say, I'm sorry, mommy didn't know. I was so scared my daughter was going to get touched. I was so scared someone was going to kill my son. And And I stopped walking around in fear, start educating them and empowering them. Another question was, what if somebody wants help? Shonda talks this about a lot. What if somebody wants help, but they in denial? What can I do to get them out? You can keep loving them. You can keep empowering them. You can keep impacting them. But you can't make them come out the denial. You can offer them all the service they want.
Never.
And Shonda will say this too. Most women and men get killed when they go back.
Yeah,
You tried your
75%.
best. What is the percentage? I'm sorry, Dr. Roberts.
75% of victims are murdered after they leave the abusive relationship.
Wow.
Can I ask a question to you,
75%.
Dr. Miller?
I'm
Another
listening.
one, actually, and this might be for Damien because since
Okay.
I'm a man, he might relate a little bit more.
Okay.
But is there a time in your life? I'm just saying in life general, because I'm going to relate this to me. So
Okay.
y'all going to find out some information about me right now.
That's all right. We love you.
I don't think I have mental health. I know I got some mental health because Shonda has called me quite sometimes to help me with it. But there are certain aspects of my
I love
life
you, Diva B.
that when you're saying don't give someone that much energy or that much power, there was a time in 2012 that is when it clicked for me.
Yeah.
And it was because I was going through cancer
Mm.
and I didn't have time for
Come on.
anybody else. I
Wow.
was only concerned about me.
Wow.
And ever since then, I have lived by what you were saying, Dr. Miller,
Yeah.
about don't give somebody that time of day. It doesn't even matter how close they are in your family.
Come on.
You know, there are certain people in my family that sometimes I'm just like, I ain't got time for you today.
Come on.
You know, and is there a way that you can step back and maybe help process what was before that? Because I've never shared this either, but I was in a domestic relationship
Okay. Okay.
back when I was younger. And I've never really shared this with many people because I don't like giving that energy
It's okay.
out. And I don't want people feeling bad for me.
It's
You know,
okay.
I hope to
Yeah.
God my mama is not watching right now.
It's okay.
But I've never dealt with that.
It's okay.
And when the cancer hit, I went from worrying about what was going on to then and moving forward.
Understand.
And I've never dealt with those issues. And I'm wondering, is that why till this day today, I still have some mental health issues with certain aspects of my life?
But you know, life is unfolding, Diva.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the first thing that I have to empower you on right now, that you are able to acknowledge that is
That's
80%
first.
of the step. And I applaud you because at least you acknowledge at any time I got this.
That's
And
right.
you don't know how many people you just impacted, including me. Because
That's right.
I just thought back, and Shonda remembers I had a surgery, and I talked to Damien.
Mhm.
Do you know, as the provider, as the doctor, as the mental health person,
Mhm.
I held so much stuff that I didn't get my own self checked out. I had a tumor, 10 pounds. It grew for I don't know how many years, but because I had so much stuff going on, I didn't deal with it. It almost cost me like my life. And on that day, I'm almost 55 years old. At 50 years old, I turned myself around. I said, listen, I forgive you. I don't remember what you did because don't you know that's your life? I can't get that time back. So I'm not saying I'm glad that happened to you, but I'm glad that impact happened, that you can say today, because I can look at you and tell you free. I know we got mental health stuff. And guess what? The pain still come back sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sometimes I still cry, but guess what? I ain't broken no more. I
That's
can
right.
move forward. I will cry and I'm gonna keep moving.
That's
So
right.
that's the difference. Let's not lie to people. Say that pain come back, that domestic violence come back. Trying to talk about it sometime, but I gotta keep moving and crying and pushing. So I applaud you. Thank you for sharing
Well,
that. That helps.
I thank you because, and I thank you as well, Damon, because I've been listening to a lot. And I'm so sorry, ladies, that I'm just interjecting so quickly.
You are
No,
not.
go ahead.
This is
In
a
all
No, but
honesty,
this is
I've
what it's
always-
about.
I've always lived a life where I portray myself to be this strong person, like nothing can break me. But ask Dr. Robert. I have told her over the phone, there are days and nights that I will sit here alone crying
Understand.
and nobody knows. Because when you see Diva B, it's the hair flips and the I'm fun and I'm the ratchet one and I'm this and I'm that. But deep down inside, honey, if you could see what's under this hat, there's a lot of problems under this hat.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not just talking about my hair, you know.
Right.
But I appreciate you, shedding that light. And let me tell you, I've always said one thing, that it is okay to not be okay.
Come on.
There you go.
Damon,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead and
Damon.
give
Go
us
ahead,
some
and Damon. I wanted to hear Damon.
It's okay to cry. It's all right to
Mm.
hurt. And I tell these young boys and men, because we start at age 6 years old. We're in elementary schools as well. I tell especially these young men, the thing about it is we have to get out of the element of what someone's going to think about us. Because at the end of the day, they're not going home with you every day. They're not walking on your job with you. They're not around your family where you live in this facade that everything is okay. You have to worry about yourself, and again, acknowledge that you want to get the help. You're not crazy. You want to be a better person.
Come on.
Right.
Stop worrying about what somebody going to think. I had a call yesterday, a guy that I've known for years, and he wouldn't mind me sharing. I told him 10 years ago, let's get it done. He called me last night. He said, I'm ready now. I'm worrying about what people was going to think. I say, you still having bad dreams? You fighting in your sleep? We're not going to do this. We're going to do it right now.
Come on.
We're going to do this. We're going to get you the help that you need. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be a better person for you first.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow.
You know what? We have Miss Cindy is having some connection issues, and we usually will go into her segment. But since we have a few more minutes, I want to see if we can probably answer another question, if that's okay with everyone.
Sure.
No, absolutely. And Shonda,
Sure.
that's what I want to say to you. Tonight we're going off script because this conversation
This
is
is
so
important.
powerful.
It's
This
deep.
conversation is so
I got
needed.
goosebumps.
Yeah. So I don't want you to think
You got your
that I'm
voice
trying
back
to-
too.
I know,
Okay.
right? Look at God. Won't he do
Look
it?
at God. Won't he
Yeah.
do what he was? Won't he do pass the collection plate.
I needed it. I need my voice because I want people to understand
Absolutely.
exactly what is going on with them, with us. We all, because sometimes I've dealt with depression. I remember one time I came home from work and sat down on my computer and just started crying. And I may not have a lasting mental issue, but we all have bouts of mental problems or whatever's going on. And I sat down on my computer, like, what am I crying for? You know, I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed, and I don't know what to do next and where to go next and how to help this person and how to help that person. And when you're dealing with people with so many issues that they come to you because you are the person that
Yeah.
Yeah.
shows. And I love that I am that person. But a lot of times George got to bear the weight of me and everything else that I'm dealing with. Then I have to turn around and support him because he's human as well too.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So there's always I'm always uplifting someone, encouraging someone. I've been home and crying about my own stuff. My phone ring. I got to wipe my tears because I need a friend needs help right now.
Absolutely.
So,
Shonda, what do I always say? I'm a motivational speaker, Damon and Dr. Miller. And I always say, I'm always there for everyone else motivating them. But who motivates the motivator?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a two-way street. It's a two-way street.
It is.
Yeah.
And we have to be real with, I love this panel tonight.
Me too.
Because let me
Me
tell you
too.
something. It's nothing wrong with, because God has impacted and empowered each and every one of us to share our stories, all of us. But we have to stop being phony, acting like, well, praise the Lord. How you doing? I'm fine.
Come on now.
Let's keep it real. Stop it.
Yeah, keep it
Also
real.
saying I'm human, but God gave me some things and wisdom I can give you. But we also have to stop being a superhero.
Yes.
I did that for a season until I crashed and then got mad because ain't nobody come help me. God said, ain't nobody tell you go over there swimming. In the deep, you can't swim. So you have to be careful with the gift, Diva. You have to be careful with everybody else on this panel that you go ahead and you smile and you do your thing. But if you have to cry, you cry and you get right back up. That's the strength in you. And I love that.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and something that I really and I'm glad I was able to share a little bit.
Thank you.
I'm not really comfortable enough to share it too much because you know my mom does watch the show, and there are certain things that I feel that my mom doesn't need to know.
Okay.
Which I bet you as soon as this is over, she's gonna be calling me talking about what the hell you
She's
doing.
gonna give you the business.
Your mama know what you don't say, and I'm gonna say that to you as a
Oh, of course. And let me tell you, my mother is my world. She has always supported me from the moment I came out till today. But when Damon was talking about how men are, I kind of know exactly what it is because as society, we show that men are supposed to be strong. It's like, oh, you crying, you wearing pink. Like, that's not what a real man does. And it's like, no, real men wear pink and real men cry,
They sure
but
do.
they just don't want society
That's
to shun them out or to
Right.
put them down,
Exactly. He's good at that.
And truthfully, a lot needs to change with that.
Mhm.
It's like, ask your husbands, because like TK said,
Yeah.
I motivate and I speak, but there are days that I'm sure TK needs some motivation
That's
and needs
right.
someone to
Well,
speak
you
to.
guys know what I'm going through. Like
Yeah.
you guys in this circle know what
Yeah.
I'm going through that
Yeah.
I don't even share with everyone. And I believe all of us have personal things.
Yeah.
That's why I say be kind to everyone, because you
Come
don't know
on.
what they're going through.
You don't.
So trust me. And it's not that I am being phony and don't want anyone to know that I have
You gotta
troubles.
be-
I do,
You
but I
gotta use
have to.
wisdom.
Yeah. I do speak it out. I do know, I know how to get counseling therapy, and
Amen.
Dr. Shonda know I would call her in 2 minutes.
You sure we call it Shonda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shonda. Yep, that's it. Yeah.
And then
Well,
I
Shonda really helped.
call.
Shonda really helped me not too long ago, because there was
Yeah.
one
He's
time
amazing.
last month that
He's
if it was not for Shonda,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not one of those people that, I'm not ever suicidal. That's not my cup of tea. And if someone is, please reach out to somebody,
That's right.
because call me, honey. You can call me or anybody on this panel for
Yeah.
Facebook, because we
Yeah.
don't got time for the suicide. But that day, I had even picked up Shonda's phone call, and I don't even pick up numbers that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And this was right at the beginning of us like really getting together with the Talk
Mhm.
Miami and the whole thing. And
Awesome.
it was Shonda's call that day that made me say, okay, and I'm gonna cuss, so cover your ears, but okay, bitch, let's get back up and let's get where we got to go.
Yes, she
You
will.
know.
That's how Shonda
So,
talks to us.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
What? Y'all
Yes, you do.
I just said,
Do I need to remind you, Queen? Go look
Okay.
in the mirror. Do I need to remind? Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Uh-huh.
ma'am.
Okay.
I just said,
Okay.
before we end, I just have one thing to say.
Okay.
If you give me like 45 seconds, I have just one thing to add to a
You
story.
got a whole.
You got
the
if you
whole
want to.
floor.
Do what you got to
Okay.
do.
And I mean, this is one thing that really, as I got older and got into this Men of Courage and the therapy component and the team and traveling with these young boys and men and providing these services, I knew it was a purpose. And I'm gonna tell you the main reason why I knew it was a purpose, many reasons, but the main thing was how at 6 years old, you're being sexually molested by a family member. You're 6.
Mm.
And during that time, that was when the doctors came knocking on your door with their medical bag back in that day. And I couldn't understand at 6 why they keep knocking on my grandmother's door. I realized that relative that was doing this to me, she had infected so many guys in high school, but I didn't find out till I was an adult that she was doing this.
Wow.
So it kept playing back. 6 years old, going into the bathroom with her, and she doing these things to me. So
Jesus.
1992. Now go from 6 years old to 1992. I'm 21, 22.
Mhm.
My first marriage, and I get a phone call that this relative died of HIV. The first thing came to my mind was 6 years old, 1992. I'm 21, 22. I'm married. I said it wasn't nothing but God.
Come on.
That she was infected in high school.
Wow.
My 6-year-old soul, 7-year-old soul, never got nothing. Never controlled.
Praise God. Praise God. Yeah.
That drove
Yeah.
me even
Wow.
harder.
Well, I believe you, because you weren't the one acting out on the evil. It was
Praise
that
God.
individual.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shonda, this is so good, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I normally wouldn't do this. This show technically will end in about 2 minutes, but we could take this thing. We could take a couple more questions, because to me, I could tell this is so needed. I don't know if you guys even notice. More people are logging on right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get the questions because I know people
Yes.
have questions and I want them to get an answer. So I thank you for let's pushing this on a little longer.
Yeah.
I want people to get their questions, and so I'm going to go scroll back up and try to catch a few. But while I'm doing that, I did want to ask one question. Y'all can go ahead and answer while I'm looking for the other questions. Is how do I help my family members? Now, I know you all said they need to get help first. Okay. So I'm at TK's door. TK's locked herself in the room. She needs to get help, but she don't want to move out the bed.
Mm.
If I leave her, I'm afraid she's going to commit suicide or whatever. How do I get her to get her butt up and let's go get help? Is that even possible? Or am I supposed to sit here and watch her disintegrate day after day after day?
Dr. Miller?
Mm.
And Banyan, I don't mean to not Banyan, but Banyan don't never work. I've tried call Banyan before, but they be tripping. So how do I, besides
Everything-
calling a
remember-
mobile crisis?
Right. Everything is safety. And I was going to say, of course, first you will call crisis, but everything is situational and everything is now. Most people in crisis, they have a person they trust. This may not be you.
Right.
And when we say family helping family, some family, if they don't
What
want
if they don't want the help? Yeah. What if they don't want the help?
Mhm.
And that's a multi-level question. I always say safety first. I never want anyone to think that you're not supposed to call crisis if you need to call them.
Right.
At the end of the day, if someone's in the bathroom and I can't get to them and I know they have a weapon, of course, that's crisis. But if it's my family member and I'm another family member, sometimes you need to call a helpline so someone can talk to them.
Right.
Because some family don't want to know the other family to know that they have a problem, because sometimes family is a little bit
Is
mean.
the problem.
When they talk about, because we know each other, she always do that shit. Sometimes family are so uneducated, so insensitive that they harm it more and take a person to a deeper depression. So they're trying to get it out, but then you're trying to look a certain way while you try to get it out, and you still be depressed. Because when I go home and when this live cut off and all of us go to where we need to go, I'm not on the live with you no more.
Right.
So
Right.
you really want to talk to a person where they are. So multi-level. If someone really needs help, of course we call crisis. But sometimes, I'm gonna say this as bluntly as I can, family is not the person to call. Because there's a place I would rather call a Damien or a Shonda,
Professional. Yeah.
or professional.
You can call it Diva B too.
And I'll call Diva B and I
That's
call
right.
TK.
That's
Because
right.
the stranger,
Right. That's right.
the stranger, not that you want to send them in harm's way, but if you give them a different voice where they can, people come in my office, 60 and 70 years old, fully married, to tell me they were molested at 5, but what they wife be outside. Please don't tell them, Dr. Miller. And the reason I do the alcohol is because about 8 o'clock at night is when the molestation comes. And at about 9 o'clock, everyone's sleeping. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. And so she called me an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just trying to get rid of my anxiety. And what can I do about that? We got to deal with it. The issue.
We gotta deal with
we're
it.
calling them an alcoholic. The wife is. The family is. You ain't gonna never be nothing. But ain't nobody ever asked a 70-year-old what happened to him at 6.
Right.
You know, that is so true, especially when it comes to family. Because as you're talking, I'm thinking back. First thing my mama asked me when I finally did tell her, why didn't you tell me? And a lot of times, especially for, let's say, kids with the parents, my kids have told me, and it's not fun. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. My kids have told Mama, I ain't telling you nothing because I don't want you to go to jail.
They know they mama crazy. They know they mama crazy.
In my wheelchair.
Let me tell you, to get me to go insane, mess with my children,
That's me.
mess
That's
with
me
my
too, Shonda.
husband,
Yeah.
mess with my mama.
Yeah.
You can steal all my money, but
Yeah,
my
that's me.
mama, my children, and my husband, I will need a Dr. Venice Miller. I will
Get your
need
bail money.
a prison ministry, and I would need all of the above. Don't mess with them. So I said it to say, first thing my mama said was, don't, why didn't you tell me? Because Mama, I told Mama I was afraid of what would happen, not only to me, but to you. I want exactly, because I want also victims to know that it's okay to tell someone what's going on, even if it's not that family member. Tell somebody, because you can't bear that by yourself.
Right.
If you're going through depression, you can't weigh that by yourself. I attempted suicide. There was no one in the house when I took all those pills. I was going through something so hard, so I felt I was so depressed about that I could not tell anyone. My only thing I could do, I was sitting in that bathroom crying in the corner, and the first thing I did was look up at the medicine cabinet, and I knew pills were in there. So that's what I did. And I woke up at Jackson Hospital with tubes down my throat, down my nose, pumping my stomach with charcoal.
Dr. Miller, go ahead. I was gonna right after you're finished. We do
Okay.
have a question for Damon. Right after you're finished.
I just want to say this for family, and I'm putting this out there with all my heart. Do me a big favor, family.
Mhm.
If a child, if adult, if your friend, if your pastor, if your wife ever come to you after today, and I hope this stay on recording, please, and I'm begging you, don't tell them anything. Listen. Don't make no comments, because all you do is push them one away from you. It may shock, it's going to shock the mess out of you when they come.
Yeah.
But that person, your child, need to know they can come without you saying, I can hear these words. You must have liked it. That's what I remember they telling me.
That's
It
right.
took too long for you to
That's
tell me. You must have liked it. Nobody needs another
I
judgment
got the same
after
thing.
you feel like crap. So I'm pleading, if I have no other plea, Diva, is please, when we come, whoever we are, to you, please listen first and then help us. But please do not make a suggestion and judge us. It's hard.
Right.
And how would I, if 6 and 9 by these two females, different females, how would I have wanted to like it at 6 and 9? Are you serious?
Wow.
But anyway.
Wow. Speaking
Damon,
of
your
that,
question's right there,
yeah,
Damon.
there you go, Damon.
Damn, has your situation affected your parenting? Thank you for your that's about it. No, it has not. I have two daughters, like I said earlier in the broadcast, 25 and 19. It has not. I'm very transparent with both of my daughters. And the thing about it is both of my parents were very transparent for me. I had the luxury of having two dads. My stepfather, who raised me since I was 4 years old, and then my biological father. So my dads, they didn't find out about it until I was an adult. I didn't talk about it until later, about what happened to me. But when they did find out, they were hurt. They felt like they were failures. I said, oh, no. I had the best two dads. I had the best mom. My mom background was mental health. And my dad retired. My stepdad, who raised me, he retired in the prison system as a warden. And then my biological dad worked for the post office for 45 years. So I had an awesome upbringing. We had weekly meetings. There's nothing that we couldn't discuss, but that one component about being sexual, I could not reveal until my first book came out, Love and Pain.
Wow.
Good question.
Excellent.
Y'all are really giving us some good information tonight. Let's see if we can get one more question, and then let people know how to get in touch with you if they need to, how to get help if they need to.
Yeah, because you guys were saying call crisis. I didn't know who that was.
You know what?
Shonda definitely know that number. Go ahead, I'm gonna get that.
Well, then we need to post it because, honey, when they said crisis, I didn't know what we was talking about.
I'm gonna look for it while we're talking.
You know what, Shonda, while you look for crisis number, Dr. Miller and Damon, I usually end the segment with a motivational moment, something positive. So instead of me doing it, I would love for each one of you to speak to our listeners, and how we, give them something positive and something motivational with anything that they're going through.
Dr. Miller?
I knew you were going to do that. You're such a gentleman. I just can't take it alone. Thank you, Damien, and thank you for everyone for sharing and being so transparent. Diva, you're pulling on my heart. I don't know why, but you're pulling on my heart because you show me amazing, but you also show me real. And I'm going to end with you because whether we want to discuss it or not, as a male who is what we call alternative lifestyle or what everybody want to call it.
Girl, that's gay.
Okay.
He's open. He's open with it. Yeah, he's open with it.
Different things, and I would want to be respectful.
Gay and proud, honey.
The gay population.
A big old gay. Like I run the whole parade by myself.
Yes.
Whole parade.
I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, I say that, but the reason I called him out is just, you can say gay, you can say straight, you can say African American, you can say chubby, you can say skinny. What I'm saying to you, no matter where you are on this panel, no matter what you identify with, I want you to know you're enough. And you enough to get the help. You are enough to be amazing. You are enough after the touch. You are enough after the word. You are enough after the discouragement. You are enough after someone will tell you enough. Today, I want you to start by saying, I'm enough. I'm enough to get the help. And I'm enough to be the best me. I'm enough to let everybody know from this day forward, I unplug the source. I am enough.
Woo.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you, Dr. Miller. Thank you.
Oh God,
Thank
Damon,
God
what
for
do you
glasses,
have for
honey, because
us?
the tears, boo. Thank you.
Yes.
I
Damon, what do you have for us?
want to thank everyone on this panel tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Diva, TK, I'm just meeting you on this evening, but I feel as though I've known you forever. I appreciate this platform. Thank you, Dr. Roberts, for this opportunity again. Always, you know how we roll.
Yes.
I want to let everyone know that is not afraid to talk about this. We have to be open about this. There's someone here listening. There's someone that's going to see this recording. You may know of a young man. You may know of a neighbor. You may know of a relative that's struggling with sexual molestation, anger issues, depression, suicide. It's time to open up your mouths and let's talk. Not only talk about this. I don't believe in just talking about it. Shonda know this about me. I don't just talk about it. I make it happen.
Come on.
So
That's it.
Men of Courage,
That's
we're
it.
here for you. We've been here for you. Like I said, leave the ego at the door, leave the fear at the door. Don't worry about any finances. We're here to help you unconditionally.
Mhm.
Okay. And I just want to put that out there. Please, I encourage every soul that's watching this show tonight, please reach out to the Men of Courage program. We are here to help. Like I said, there's 4 or 5% of women that have reached out. We are helping women. We're helping 9 and 10-year-old young girls in elementary schools right now with depression and anxiety. So sky's the limit. We're global. We're in London right now, and I have 3 therapists in London that have partnered.
Y'all ain't hear my friend say he in London?
Well, first of all, y'all better recognize he international.
Yes. So hey, I'm coming to Miami. I'm coming
That's
to your city.
Yes.
You listen. And I want to say this, and I mean it with grace and grit. We need to keep this going. We don't need this to stop right here.
Right.
We need to make this happen. We need to make it impactful
Right.
for our peers, especially our children that's growing up, our young boys, our men, our women. We need to make it happen because no one need to be suffering in silence. There's help available. And I don't care what anybody say. Men of Courage program, hey, we're here to help you.
David, what is your website so I can put it in the chat?
It's www.menofcourageshow.com. If you need to speak with someone, 470-534-2200. I do all the first assessments. I'm hands-on. I'm not that person that sit back behind the screen and say, you know what? Oh, I'm the creator and founder. You won't see me. You hear my voice. You get the first assessment with me, and then I direct you in the right direction as far as what therapist you're going to be. It doesn't have to be. We're global. It can be in your city if you want it to be. It can be in my city. Wherever you want this therapy at, I can make it happen. This team can make it happen. This is not a one-man show. I want to make that clear. It's not about Damon Thomas. This is about changing the trajectory of young boys and men and women across the globe. And I thank you guys for that.
His people got people. You hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Can I say 2 more things and then I'll stop for talking for the night?
Hold on. Before you say that, I want to get Dr. Miller's information so I can put in the chat. Dr. Miller, how can we reach you?
www.drvenusmiller.com.
And you give me your personal number before we leave, okay?
And
don't have my personal number. Absolutely.
Yes. And don't charge me by the hour.
Yeah, don't charge me.
I'm not charging you at all.
I'll bring you a bottle of champagne, though.
Look, I'm the only one that get free therapy around here.
Excuse me, I'm on a friends and family, okay?
Okay.
Fellow
friends and family.
I'm also, I also do Time to Talk for Real, which is something that I come out to individuals and talk to, whether it's schools.
I was gonna say that, but you ain't mentioned it, so I ain't never.
I don't just go wait for the end. I'm trying to be in order. The girl.
Okay, go ahead.
Time to Talk for Real is the platform I do motivational speaking on, and I travel wherever I travel to. I also have BM Consulting Firm LLC, and I'll talk to you guys about that off site.
Me too, doctor. We got that in common. And we motivational speakers.
Yes, we are. And I am the new director, the clinical director of Agape Women's Center. And so that is a facility where they can go, and if someone's suffering from drugs and depression, they can come directly right there. Shonda, you have my direct number, and you're allowed to
always,
if they need to speak it. Please give my number to everyone that's on this panel. And if you ever have someone that call in and you just want to talk to me, like Dr. Mill, I need you to talk to them right now, I'll do that. And that's not a cost.
Thank you.
I believe God already.
Thank you.
Man, God delivered me from so many things.
Yes.
It's priceless. And
Thank you.
it's a free service from Him, so I'm gonna give that to you.
Thank you. You know what? Go ahead, Diva B.
I just wanted to say I love everyone who's watching. I love my panel Mondays at 8:00. Now, normally I hate Mondays, but at 8:00, I love Mondays. I appreciate you two coming on and speaking to us and to the ladies and gentlemen in the chat. I forgot what I was going to say because Shonda interrupted me. And I have some timers. But no, I really do appreciate it. I thank you. And my boyfriend behind me, he said thank you. He whispered in my ear.
You know,
he told me to tell you thank you too. But yeah, if I remember, I'll interrupt again.
Well, I will say this, and then I'll turn it over to you, Shonda, to end and wrap up the show. And normally I don't do this, but I always go off the energy in this room, even though we're not all in the room, but virtually we are. Right. And Shonda was the only person that I said this to. And I am a person who believes in manifestation. So I'm going to go ahead and put it out there now that I think it is now my duty, because I spoke to Shonda and I say, Shonda, as a speaker, Shonda's a speaker. I think we're all speakers, and we're going to use this platform to educate people, to get the word out there, whatever we need to do. So now, just with us being on this show tonight, I am going to put together a summit that we're going to do, all of us right here in this room. I want that summit to be by the end of this year. So we got some time to plan. I think it's needed here in Miami. And every year I would love to do a Talk Miami, like either an all-day summit or a weekend. We're going to talk later.
Yeah.
And I'm just like you, Damon. I'm not a person who talk. If you know me, everything that I say, I do.
Come on.
And so you're hearing it from my mouth to God's ears that we're going to have a summit for you guys.
Oh, she finna work me to death.
Yes, you know I am, Shonda. I need you on payroll. I need you to listen. Swipe the credit card. Then I need you at registration, and then from registration you go out back. Then I'm gonna need you to sing doing it. Okay. But we gonna talk.
Look, Gigi, bring my purse.
Gigi, bring me that purse, Gigi.
I'm gonna start working on my outfit today.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a big old half of that summit, honey.
So everyone, we are gonna get together for you.
I am here for it. You know, TK, wherever you say go, I go. That's why I thank God for the connections, because he always brings it all the way around and connects and connects and connects. You know, TK was one of the first supporters of Pain to Purpose. And she has been there. And if she can't be there physically, she's sending me some coins, honey. She makes sure that she is supporting me. So when she said go, I'm going. Because even when I still need her, she's there. Her and her husband. You know, he like talk about me, but he still be there too. He be there first and he be there. He tell me no all the time, but he be there. So I appreciate all of y'all, every last one of y'all. So just to wrap, I want to make sure that we have your information. Dr. Venice Miller, just give him your information one more time. Dr. Thomas, you're going to be Dr. Thomas tonight. Give him your information one more time, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
You know I'm going to get you.
Honorary doctor.
You're going to go ahead and walk to the calling, brother, because you're going to have to receive that. I'm with her on that.
Right.
Okay, I'll receive Dr. Thomas. Okay, Damon Thomas website, www.menofcourageshow.com. You can also reach us at 470-534-2200. Instagram is Men of Courage Show. Facebook is Damon Thomas and the Men of Courage Show.
All right. And this is recorded, so everyone can go back on YouTube, back on our Facebook page, and get the information again. Go ahead, Dr. Miller.
I'm everything is Venus Miller with me. If you see me on Facebook, it's Venus Miller. Don't get confused, because fitness is my love. So you're going to see me transform.
Oh, yeah, she's going to be working out now.
Baby, don't tell her you want to lose some weight. She waiting on me. She gonna text me the other day. I ain't answered her text yet about no working out.
I said, girl, come on here, stop playing. Anyway, www.venusmiller.com. On that same site, TK is everything that I do. My book is on there. My speaking engagements on there, and it's a brand new site. I need to talk to you anyway, so how we can
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
everything is on
I
there.
think we've all wrote, Dr. Shonda, you're next. I'm an author.
I
Damon's an
co-wrote the book.
author. Dr. Miller. That's right. You are. So Diva B, we need your book to come out.
Come
Baby. We
on,
can all be
Where
authors.
you at?
So Diva B wants to write a book, but I'm
Okay. We're gonna help you. Damon's gonna help you.
stay tuned, y'all.
Your name.
Stay
I'm
tuned.
gonna get
Stay
you.
tuned. Stay
Oh,
tuned.
Lord.
Honey, I don't know if Damon's ready for all that.
Oh, I'm ready.
He
Trust
was
me.
ready for
I'm
me.
ready. I'm
Okay.
He
ready.
was ready for woo.
I will bring. You know, it's funny because I've always wanted to write a book, but
Really?
the
There
reason
you
why I
go.
haven't written a book is because I am worried. Because once again, I'm a mama's boy. I am worried if my mom caught wind of that book, what it
Damon
would
knows how
do.
to do that for you. You don't
Yeah.
have.
Tell him,
Okay.
Dr. Miller.
Well,
he
listen,
knows
if
how-
we can talk in third person and the name of the character we named Pebbles, then
Yeah.
we're good.
There you go.
Damon,
There
that's
you
I
okay.
go.
got you.
Damon,
Oh,
Damon
you
did that
protect
for
it.
me in a lot of my books.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
so
write a book, girl. Don't start. I'll start right now. 9:20
Let's
at night.
go.
I'll start
I'm
jotting
waiting
down
on
some
it.
things.
I'm waiting on it.
listen, y'all gonna have to check in each other after the
Yeah.
show.
Oh, okay.
We about to wrap it up.
sorry.
Oh, it's
Cause
Shonda's
y'all
time for bed. That's it.
Cause
She
y'all
gotta go.
know it's past my bedtime.
Yes, ma'am. We sorry.
Hey, we haven't
I
gotten a
need to-
yawn tonight, so we're doing pretty good.
I need to rest my voice and rest.
Please do.
Listen, wait. I want to tell Venus and Damon because they don't know about this my monumental time in my life. I went to bed at 8:00 last night. Won't we do it?
Hollywood. Yes. That's so much time.
Proud of you.
Look at Cindy.
She came on.
Let go.
Cindy came on just to say that.
Right. They talk about me because I be ready to shut it down.
Sure enough, honey.
I went to bed at 8:00. I didn't sleep till about 9:30, but I went to sleep. And I
Good.
woke up like
Good.
1:30 in the morning, went back to sleep at 2, and I slept till 8:30 this
Good
morning.
girl.
I was proud
And I
of
had to
her,
be
honey.
woken up.
Because usually at the 46-minute time, she's doing one of these.
I told y'all.
Show her how to
Last
sit down.
in,
Show her how to
last
sit down.
in, first out.
That's
Good night, y'all. I love y'all.
Dr.
Thank
Miller,
you
call
all
me.
for
Good
joining
Good
us.
night.
See y'all.
Oh wait.
Add it up. Okay, alright.
Yes,
I'm sorry, TK. Go ahead.
Goodbye.
that's okay. Guess what? Dr. Shonda let everybody know it's Memorial Weekend, honey.
Oh,
so
yeah.
next Monday is Memorial Day.
Y'all won't be on.
Y'all on vacation. We on vacation.
We on
Hey,
vacation.
Shonda, do
Yes.
not post any food pictures. I'm coming to get y'all. I'm not playing. I've been asking for a plate for 7 months. Come on after we finish the book.
My husband told me yesterday that he made plans for us on that day, so I don't think he's cooking anyway. So
Okay, the next cook
So
around.
we'll see you guys in June.
Thank you,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
good night.
Appreciate you.